it's time for another interview. So, today, we have a very special guest who is fairly well known in the community. Now, in terms of what class we're going to be talking about today, I'm going to give you guys a couple hints and we're going to see if you can land on it, okay? Somebody asked me before we started this, does this class shoot arrows? And the answer to that is yes. The next hint that I will give you is that this class has been asked for many, many, many times. And I actually have I've had so many people offer to come on here for this class. I have had so many, like it is crazy. This class is way more popular than I ever expected or anybody actually knew. It's crazy. And then the last hint that I will give you is that this class was actually very recently completely replaced by an inanimate object, and nobody wants them in their parties anymore. Today, we are going to interview a Say Rams potion. We're going to see what they have to say about their very large collection of skills. I'm just kidding for anyone who doesn't know what I'm talking about. It is indeed the Wild Hunter. And here to speak about Wild Hunter is someone who promised me that they were going to give it their absolute heart and soul and give it their all in this interview. We have none other than the one and only, that's right, we got Denut. Yo!
Yo, hello.
What up, bro?
And not much.
Dude, are you gonna lock this in and just like make
yeah.
You're just gonna make everyone be like, damn, that's not the Denut that I know.
Look, everybody knows me. There's a lot of trolling on stream. When it comes down to business, though, it's business, man. We're here to represent a rank 45 class, or rank 44 are we now? I don't know, one of the two. We're here to represent.
All right. Well, I'm excited. I'm excited to see it. Let's get you started off by giving us the elevator sales pitch. I want to see the number one reason that someone should play Wild Hunter. What is some cool shit that this class can do, or I can do if after I make one.
All right. So this is actually a lot of part of our base kit.
Okay.
We have a skill that is used to actually capture our jaguars called capture. Now, one of the great things is it's not exclusive just to capture. It is exclusive to any mob in the game as long as you don't insta-kill them. So hopefully I don't do too much damage. Do I have like a secondary bow I can equip? Let's see, I do not.
It doesn't matter what you do, you're gonna one-shot this thing.
Yeah. We'll go to a car scene.
Hopefully I don't do too much damage. He's like 290 in a level 10 map. Like what?
Hey, I've gone low to like level 30s. I've gone low to like level 30s. So, basically, you just gotta do a little bit of damage to them. Hit capture, and it captures the monster. Now, cool thing is you have a catalog of what you can summon. Now, unfortunately, this doesn't do anything anymore.
Oh.
But the first in my catalog,
the little lantern
is the
guy.
Basic mob. Yep.
Okay.
Lantern mob from the beginning.
Yeah.
Beginning of Arcane River. This actually did used to have some properties back in the game where it used to be a dummy. Unfortunately, boss mechanics have changed, so no longer. But every 30 seconds, you can spawn one of the monsters on your catalog, and you know, regardless if there's familiars of them or not, you can kind of just walk around with them.
And they don't do anything.
I mean,
they look cool.
Attack,
oh,
but the scaling of it is, you know, doesn't do damage anymore.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I mean that's probably one of the coolest things right there.
Okay.
Most people don't know. Most people don't see this. The Adele here was actually kind of confused as to what that was, but you know, to each their own.
So basically you can have
wait. Yep, steal it.
like basically you can have like actual monster collection.
Yeah.
Okay.
Real life monster collection. You don't need familiars for them. As long as you just don't kill them, the monster doesn't have a familiar card. Well, hey, we have familiars at home.
Yeah. Okay. Hell yeah. Dope. So this is This is the class for all the people who like the Pokemon games and stuff like that. Just collect monsters.
Yeah.
It'll be fun. It'll be fun, guys.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you can't capture bosses with it. It would be pretty cool, you know, walking around with, you know, Lotus, but that's not something you can do, unfortunately.
Not yet. Maybe one day.
Not yet. Not yet.
All right. Well, that's kind of cool. I'm sure some people are gonna love that. Some people are gonna absolutely love that. Okay. Well, let's get into it then. So before we talk about the class, why don't you go ahead and tell us what makes you qualified to be here, to be doing this interview.
Well, what makes me qualified is I've started actually at the beginning of New Age. I played Wild Hunter for probably since Wild Hunter came out. It's actually the third time I played Wild Hunter. The second time I picked it up was when Reboot first came out. I started Wild Hunter, and my brother played Mech, went on from there, and I came back during New Age to a complete fresh account, 0 on everything, and started from there. You know, I've been here for almost 2 years, progging as, you know, the rank 45 class. So a lot of the other Wild Hunters have already progressed all of this stuff. You know, they were 280, 290 good gear. You know, I had to start there with nothing and work from 0 Legion up to, you know, 9.5 and learn life as what it would be to play a class that's, you know, outdated and behind.
Okay. So he's done a lot of his prog like more recently than say like some of the actual top ranked Wild Hunters, which is part of the reason, just for anyone who's maybe like, why did you get this guy on here? That's part of the reason that I chose to take Denut for this, was because we were gonna get like a little bit of a different point of view than some of the other players that we've interviewed like throughout the series. And yeah, we just kind of wanted to, I don't know. I just wanted to give you a shot to like not be a meme for a little bit, you know?
I mean, hey, I appreciate it. And, you know, like I said, we'll get down to business and get some good info out and hopefully change some people's opinions on Wild Hunter.
Yeah, on the Serum spot. I'm just kidding. I'm joking. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. I had to get it off my chest one more time. All right.
Hey, it's okay. It's okay. Unfortunately, we don't get too much use out of it, but I take 2 mil every so often on my main, so that's all that matters.
Yeah, true. That's actually, for a new player, that's kind of sick. You don't have to spend all of your meso on serums every time you're trying to do a boss. That's dope.
Yeah. I mean, you still have to buy them because it does give you 10 boss damage.
Oh,
but if you're not really too worried about that, like I just do all my bosses without it anymore. There's no point. I forget it most of the time, and it's not going to impact anything.
Yeah. It's not as big as like a lot of the other buffs that are attached to it.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's get into it then. So, first and foremost, let's talk about Wild Hunter damage and specifically the burst. So I'm actually just going to go ahead and I'm going to just say that I know basically nothing about this class in terms of like what its damage profile is like. I don't know how long your cooldowns are. Like, I really don't know much about what's going on in this class's kit at all. So describe it to me like I'm in kindergarten.
So Wild Hunter is basically considered either a 2 or a 6 minute class. All of our skills are 2 minute cooldowns. All of our burst, besides our, you know, our Jaguar rotation, but when we're talking about buffing skills, all of our main skills are all on 2 minute buff cooldowns.
Okay.
Besides AB. We have practically no mini burst. It's all burst and then just DPMing around. The damage profile, if you're talking more so of damage itself, a little lackluster. It's not the highest, but it does get the job done because it does have a much stronger burst in terms of percentile damage than other classes do. We just don't have the actual damage coming from that end.
Okay.
And I say that in the way that we have the second highest percentile burst out of all the classes, right behind Arc.
Okay.
So in a percentile of what we can get out in what we consider a bind and burst boss. So Kalos, it's a bind and burst. You bind, burst, run away, or at least it's what it used to be. Our numbers are about 54% of our burst comes out in that 20 seconds, compared to classes like Nightwalker, which are right around 50, and Night Lord's like 52, and Arc's 56. So we have a very heavy burst, and then the damage is unfortunately not there.
Okay. Okay, so let's see it. Let's see the burst then. Go through it a little bit.
All right. Do you want me to walk you through the burst, or just burst and then talk about it afterwards?
Completely up to you.
All right, I'll kind of walk everybody through. I will turn up animations.
Yes,
because
please.
a lot of people actually do like some of the animation of this class. I will say this is my first time seeing it on transparency because I have never had transparency up. So I feel like that's most players though.
Yeah.
So the class's burst is honestly pretty easy in the sense it's not a lot of buttons. It's more so just learning the positioning and then just executing the burst as a whole. Practically all of our burst fits on a buff sequence, so for newer players it's actually very good for them. They're not having to worry about preloading grandest blessings and waiting for buffs to kind of tick through to charge up like Infinity or Sakuno for Kana. It's just pop a button and burst. So the start of all of our burst is always going to be our two summons, Drill Salvo and Hunting Unit Assistant. Both are finally 60-second durations. So a lot of times when I'm starting a boss fight, I'll drag it into a corner. I'll place Drill Salvo. I'll place Hunting Unit. Make sure your Jaguar is charged. And then pop your skill sequence, which it has for Liberty, Maple Goddess Blessing, Silent Rampage, which is another buff. And then it has Jag Storm. After I press that, I press our main bossing skill, which is Jag Rampage, and then we'll go into the rest of the burst, which is our key downs and our iframes.
Okay.
So I'll kind of do that and then explain afterwards. And our burst is 40 seconds long because our main boss skill is our Jag Rampage, which lasts 40 seconds. And basically after you get out of your key down, you just rotate between your Jag skills.
Okay.
And that's really it. For stationary bosses, it's pretty easy. There's not much micromanaging. You just occasionally throw back down your summons and continue to burst.
So do you usually spend most of your time not riding the cat?
So the cat is for mobbing and mobility only.
Okay.
When you ride the Jaguar, you lose the main boss skill. It goes from Jaguar Rampage, which when you press it, it kind of, dashes the Jaguar at them. That's our main bossing skill. It does the most damage on our entire, BA. It gets switched to what's called Exploding Arrow, which is just an FMA attack, more for mobbing.
Okay.
We also get increased movement, so we go from a traditional double jump to a triple jump.
Okay.
That is, however, being addressed, though, in the new 2-minute patch. We are actually able to triple jump off Jag. but that's when it comes in the 2-minute patch whenever it decides to come.
Okay. Okay. So you don't mount. Okay. So you're
Yeah,
like
you
you're,
mount
you're like
in-bosses
you're
more
like
from
getting you're getting the Jag to do some stuff on his own while you're doing your own thing as well. Okay.
Yeah, the Jag is primarily all of our damage. Our hurricane button that we hold, because we are a hurricane class. I don't even think I have it on my keyboard. Where is it? There it is. Yeah, our hurricane wild arrow blast is significantly weaker than all of our Jag skills, which are listed right here.
Okay, I see. So that thing is like just tracking your basically your cooldowns.
Yeah, this is just it's just this popped up here.
Yeah.
You know, I guess it's a little bit easier to see for people, but it's just what they give us as wild hunters.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So your burst lasts 40 seconds.
Yes.
It's every 2 minutes.
Yes, we are a 2-minute class.
And then what about your origin burst? You said sometimes people will consider you a 6-minute. I assume that's because your origin burst is kind of giga.
Yes, our origin is kind of what bumps us from, hey, we're a bottom tier, 40th class to we actually do decent damage. It's kind of like a lot of other classes like Kane. It's the same scenario where origin is very, very strong, and our off burst, which is just our bare 2-minute burst, isn't the strongest.
Okay.
It's basically all the same setup. 2 summons, press your skill sequence, press 1, cast the Jag Rampage, and then go into origin.
Okay.
So I will show that.
And the origin, is it just damage, like it just hits really hard, or is there something that happens afterwards?
It's a 30-second buff, and every 2 seconds it does basically what looks like a swipe.
Okay.
So it does a really hard hit right away, and then every 2 seconds it just keeps doing an FMA attack in front of us. And that's basically what the damage is. So I'll kind of show you.
So it's like a summon and a buff, and it hits hard.
It's not a summon, but it stays on us. The projectile comes from us.
Yeah. Okay.
So, like I mentioned, you do drill salvo unit. I want to make sure these are fresh summoned. And then skill sequence, wait for roar, Jag Rampage, origin.
Damn. Wakanda forever.
Yes, sir. It's that. I don't know if you can see. It's kind of the blue swipe every so often, like swipe.
Yeah. Like
That's
blue and purple.
that's the origin buff right there.
Okay. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. And then once this ends right here, Jag Storm, our burst is out.
Okay. So mostly just like slamming some short cooldowns, like as soon as you can after they come off cooldown, and then holding your hurricane, like after your.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Okay.
So I did miss one of the casts because I didn't start the BA, but let's see, how can I show this without being So this is our hurricane right here on that BA.
Okay.
Swipe,
4%.
summon, roar, and Hexa Another Bite and Rampage are all of our Jag skills. So when I mentioned earlier that our physical self, we don't do any damage, we don't.
Yeah.
That's our damage right there. Everything, all of this, all comes from the Jag itself.
Yeah.
Now, final attack actually does come from us too, but that's not the actual hurricane physically itself.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So, okay, I got it. So, give me a ranking for like performance in terms of burst.
Are we talking about like just raw damage in comparison to other classes?
Yeah.
I would say I would say C. I would say C.
Okay.
And that's I would say C just because we do have a stronger origin than a lot of other classes, but it's also just it's easy to get the damage off. So it kind of pushes it. I would like go from a D to a C because of that.
Okay.
the burst isn't as bad as what people used to think. We've gotten, you know, tremendous amount of buffs over the past 2 years.
Yeah, sure. That's a crazy thing to say after ranking it a C. That's so funny. All right, buff Wild Hunter, I guess. Okay, well, let's talk about your DPM then. So, yeah, let's just talk about the off burst and like what's going on when you don't have your cooldowns. So wait, 2-minute cooldowns, last 40 seconds. So you have a minute and 20 seconds of like off burst / DPM, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Our off burst. I don't know if you know anything of old Night Lord. That's kind of the spot we were in. We did get tremendously buffed in 3 and 4. Our off burst actually gained damage. Our Hexa summon Jag, which is the basic attack from the Jag, pretty good. And then all of our summons got buffed.
Okay.
Our off burst is pretty easy to do. It's basically the same thing as bursting. You summon Drill Salvo, summon Unit, and then you rotate between Jag Rampage, making sure Jag Roar is gone, and swipe. And then cast grenades. Now, you can kind of see this number. You know, when I did my Origin burst, I was at what, 90, 80 T? And I'm at 6 T now. So you can kind of get, yeah, yeah. It's not the best.
Okay.
It's probably, yeah, I would say you might have to give it like, I really want to say a double F, but like I think an F probably justifies, only because our burst has gotten, I mean our off burst has gotten tremendously buffed.
I was like originally saving like the F category for like the bottom 3 classes in terms of performance.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I would
damn.
Yeah, I would probably say double F is probably good for us.
Unlucky.
Yeah, very unlucky, but
unlucky. Okay.
We do what we have to do.
Okay, well, let's move on to maybe something that isn't going to be sad to talk about.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your mobility.
Our mobility.
Yeah.
So we actually have gotten a little bit of buffs in mobility over the past year.
Okay.
Our first things first is what is considered our white heat rush, and I'm actually going to go into Kalos to explain this because this is it's not useful in every boss, but it does have a lot of uses in specific bosses such as Kalos, Kaling, and Lotus, and it's actually what helps us maybe get a little bit higher on mobility than a lot of other classes.
Okay.
But I will showcase this in Kalos. Yeah. So our basic movement that we have right now off Jag, like I said, is a double jump. If you're ever not bursting, not DPMing, you're kind of just waiting for cooldowns, you know, such in Kalos, where you're just waiting for the group to kind of get their cooldowns back. You have your triple jump. You have your white heat rush, which is basically omnidirectional. It goes in all 8 directions. Well, besides up and down, so it goes, you know, corner to corners. You can do it in the air, and you can go from any corner.
Okay.
But the one good thing about that is white heat rush actually resets our jumps, such as like Lynn's dash does.
Yeah.
So as long as you jump through a plat, oh, that lag there. So as long as you jump through the plat, you get your jumps back.
Okay.
So it kind of
one way or another.
Yeah, it gives us a little bit more mobility than what we really should have. So double jump, dash through, double jump.
Yeah. Okay.
And you can even, you know, down and then jump straight up, or you can just do it straight down. So it allows you to stop your momentum right when you want it, allows you to continue your momentum, reposition, readjust. It gives you a lot of flexibility to how you basically want to move around, as long as there's a platform. So fortunately for Limbo, you don't have that in Limbo. You don't have that in a lot of beginner bosses, you know, your CRAs, your Vihilla, Dark Knight, you don't have that mobility in there.
Yeah. Okay.
So mobility, I would probably say D just because of that. We don't really have anything else in our kit for mobility, just a traditional double jump and a diagonal dash. that has some
And an up
niche
jump.
cases. Yes. Our up jump actually is a higher up jump than a lot of classes. Even off jag, it goes pretty high. Basically touch the top of the screen. A lot of classes that I play, specifically for Caling, you can't reach the second platform of bird. You know, you can just jump straight up that, use no cooldowns, and be fine.
Okay.
But I would probably have to say D for our mobility. We don't really have much going for us.
Unlucky. So you have no skills that like stall you in the air or whatever if you cast while you're falling from an up jump?
Nope. All we have is our so I would say maybe C might be a little bit more viable, but the issue again with White Heat Rush is it stops your momentum. So if you don't dash through a platform, you double jump, that you're stuck. You can't move.
Yeah.
So when you're in Saren P1 and you're wanting to jump over bananas, you're supposed to do on jag, double jump, diag dash, and then save your final jump to reposition.
Yeah.
Because if you just triple jump, diag dash, like I'm pressing arrows, you can't move.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's also kind of why I did place it a little bit lower, because it's a very easy thing to learn, but for someone who's just started, if they're trying to work through MPE or going around maps to farm, you're going to fall to the bottom of the map a lot.
So when you dash, when you press the dash button when you're not on the jag, does it just do nothing?
Yes. No, we are able to do it off jag now.
Okay,
this is something
okay.
that was added about 6 months ago.
Okay.
That is why I said we went from maybe about an F to a D, because originally all we had was our double jump. We had nothing else.
Okay.
But because we have this now, it gives us a little bit more flexibility to jump around, move around.
Okay.
Like I mentioned, reset jumps. But again, if you're having that much time to jump and move around, you're probably spending that on jag as it is anyways.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I think C is adequate.
Yeah.
I think C is adequate. It's yeah. Pretty good. Okay, well, let's find something good about the class. Okay, let's talk about survivability. So what kind of stuff do you have in your kit that's like you know, healing, shielding, damage reduction, stuff that would like that makes up for the fact that maybe you can't dodge every single attack?
Oh. Survivability, I would say, is probably what one of the better things is for Wild Hunter. We don't in the sense have anything that is like over shields or immunities, like status resistance, but we do have a, what is that, 11 or 12 second? I don't remember half the time. I think it's 12 second, a 12 second iframe every time we burst.
Okay.
So for newer players, this kind of goes back to what I mentioned about where most of our damage comes out in that first 20 seconds. Mm-hmm. So having a 12-second iframe while you're bursting every single burst is just an insane amount of survivability.
Yeah.
You're able to burst, stay alive without dying while slowly learning the boss over time, because you're able to completely stop looking at the boss, start observing your surroundings.
Yeah.
Now for, you know, later bosses, you don't have to use it more so as a survivability while bursting. You can use it to extend your burst. So in bosses such as Kalos, you know, the boss is bound for 20 seconds. You burst, bind, and I'll show this so it's a little bit easier for everybody to understand.
As long as it's not P2.
No, it's P1.
Okay.
So a boss will stay bound, your origin. I know that the boss isn't going to do anything to me because it's completely bound. I'm completely fine. Nothing needs to be done. Stay here and burst. And I still haven't pressed my iframe yet. Mm-hmm. So 20 seconds now, the boss is bound. Wait for it to be unbound, go into iframe.
Yep.
I now have an extra 10 seconds that I can just sit here, drink a cup of coffee, play with one hand, call it a day. And then guess what? Now you go into Jenny iframe right away, right after. So now you go from 20-second bind, 12-second iframe, into also having a Jenny iframe for 42 seconds of just sitting here.
Yeah, okay.
Just sitting here, that's all you do. That's it. We also have a class iframe, 2 seconds. Unfortunately, on a 70-second cooldown, so you don't quite get it 2 times. I mean, 3 times per burst, but what a lot of Wild Hunters like doing is they like to pop the Feline Berserk iframe and then go into our buff sequence because we're able to fit our buff sequence
okay,
into
makes
Feline
sense.
Berserk.
Makes sense.
So survivability is pretty good. You know, it's really hard to die during bursting. You're able to extend your burst. You have a lot of flexibility of, do I want to pop my iframe during burst? I want to do it after burst, before burst. It's kind of situational to what boss you're doing.
Okay. And that's so basically like your survivability is just all iframes.
All iframes.
Okay.
Not as good as Mihail and a couple other classes, but
Yeah,
I would
of
say
course not,
probably B, just because we do have an extended iframe. A lot of classes just have, you know, the Genesis iframe, which doesn't always cut it a lot of times. You have that little bit extra flexibility where you're completely fine
Sure, yeah.
for an additional period of time.
Okay. And I just want to check, you have no door, you have no like dark sight. It's just the iframes.
Nope, no door. We got trolled with you know, resistance dark sight, but it doesn't do anything actually.
Okay. Okay. Oh, wait.
So I would
you
say
also
B is
have
definitely-
you also have 8 seconds of invincibility every time you die because you're a
Yes.
resistance.
Yes.
Oh.
Well, if we're adding in stuff like that too, when the 2-minute patch comes, our all keydowns in the game are getting turned into damage reduction
Yep.
and status resistance.
Yeah.
So you now can add even more iframe on while bursting. You no longer, as long as it's not something that does over 100%,
Yeah.
you no longer have to worry about using primal into our keydown, or primal's our iframe. You could just rock your keydown and then go into your iframe after.
Yeah. Okay.
Our keydown, the reason I say that, our keydown, you can't jump in. You're locked at, I think it's 110 movement speed. Like, that's how slow I'm moving compared to now.
Yeah.
So that gets changed in the 2-minute patch, which gives us an extra, technically pseudo 5-second iframe. Unfortunately, it's linked to our damage, but it's just, again, extending our survivability even more and more than what a lot of classes have.
Okay. All right. Okay. I mean, it's not bad, guys. We got a good rating for once. We'll take it.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about your skills again and like your rotation and stuff. So,
Yes.
if you just want to maybe give us a quick overview of what the skills that have cooldowns, like all of your day, aside from like all of it, like your 2-minute burst sequence or whatever.
Yes.
The skills that you're kind of rotating in between while you're doing it all while you're holding your hurricane skill, right? Like you can do both at once.
Yes. So this class is from what I was told when I started this class kind of plays like you play a piano. You hold down one key and you press multiple other keys in a sequence over and over and over. That's all you do the entire fight. So you hold your hurricane. How can I? This doesn't actually show the skill, so I'll kind of explain them through the catalog. We have our skill called dash and slash. You can either keep it unticked, which will allow the jag to physically move, or you can keep it ticked, which stays in place, and it is used to animation cancel our other Jaguar skills.
Okay.
So, you'll start attacking with just holding your key down. You'll dash and slash into Jag Rampage, which cancels the clunk of the animation, because all of these skills have a clunk. You can't just go, I can't press T and then I'm pressing A, and it just went off about a second later.
Yeah, okay.
So the priority is to always use this skill, which is our Jag Rampage. That's what's on my S right there, because that's our most damage, and then it goes to our, which one is it at? I haven't looked this far back in a while. Sonic Roar,
Okay.
which is the second strongest part of this damage, and then our swipe is the third. Swipe.
Okay.
So basically, you just hold arrow, dash and slash into rampage, roar, swipe, and then you just keep repeating it: dash and slash, roar, swipe, dash and slash, rampage, and then you just keep repeating it over and over and over, just like a piano.
So you're using your swipe to cancel as often as you can, but it has like a bit of a cooldown.
You're using
right?
dash and slash.
Oh yeah, sorry,
right
that
here.
one. Yeah. Dash and slash to cancel your animations of the other skills as often as you can.
Yep, this one right here.
Got it. Okay. All while holding down it's like mech. You're just holding down another button while you're pressing a bunch of other stuff.
Yes. Also, you have to cast the grenades, primal grenades. Every 4.5 seconds you get one. And you just occasionally toss those out over time. You want to make sure you have all 8 of them stacked up for your burst. So usually in my head when I'm just DPMing, every time I press dash and slash, I will proceed to press my grenade button.
Okay.
So it is a very hands-on class. That's not talking about resummoning your summons. So you're going from dash slash, rampage, roar, while also having to move summons, while throwing grenades.
Yeah.
It's very, like I said, it's very much like piano. You just follow.
It has summons. It has a lot of short cooldowns to manage, and on top of that, it has your own hurricane that you can hold while you're doing all of this other stuff.
Yes.
Okay, so it's a pretty active class.
Yes. Same thing while you're bursting too. While you're doing your key down, all Jaguar skills are able to be pressed. So you still have to hold grenades while holding your key down, while pressing all the Jag skills.
Okay.
So that's kind of why I said the survivability is pretty nice for us, because there's a lot of times when, I'm going to be honest, while I'm in Kalos, I just stand there and I have 2 hands on the left side. I'm not that great at, jumping around my keyboard. So I have my left hand on this, and then I'll hold down 3 with my right hand, and I'll just proceed to press all these with my left hand.
Yeah, okay.
It's, yeah.
All right. So if I had to ask you to rank the class and its play style and its rotation, in your biased opinion on like how much fun you have playing the class, how much you enjoy it, how engaged it keeps you while you're fighting bosses, where would you rank it?
I honestly would rank it as an S. I genuinely love playing this class. I've tried playing a lot of the other summon classes like Corsair and Mech, who's also a Hurricane too, and it doesn't have the same feeling that Wild Hunter does. Yep. I really enjoy, like I said, it is a little clunky, but I do enjoy the aspect of how you can play it, the flexibility that you have. It's just everything, even though it is clunky, everything works together, which is what you need to look for in a class. If it's clunky and it doesn't blend together fine, then that's an issue. But because it blends together fine and it works the way it works, it's pretty nice to play.
Yeah. I will say, like, all negatives aside, I just made a Wild Hunter for like my Legion block or whatever. Mm-hmm. Now I used the free 200 level whatever thing, but I still had to level it to like level whatever. I still had to do the first 2 job quests. So I got my, and then I kind of messed around on it a little bit. Like I went and I captured the Jag, and then I rode around on it a little bit, and I checked out the animations and stuff. Something about riding around on a mount and being able to do combat in like an MMO is just, I can't describe why it feels so good or so much fun, but something about it is just fun.
Yeah.
And so that alone, I was like, man, I really like, I would love to love this class just because, like, I don't know, that little thing about it is like, I don't know, it's just unique and cool. And
that's actually what got me into the class, riding the Jaguar.
Oh, 100%.
If you played like pre-Big Bang, which I mean, I was a kid, I was like, I think 9 at the time, playing in 2011, 2012. You still had to walk around a lot of maps, and that's actually why Wild Hunter is still a little bit better in stuff like APQ, because you do have a faster base movement speed than other classes. When you're
Yeah.
on Jag, you hop off Jag, you move at base speed. You're on Jag, you move faster. I got into the class because my aunt played Iran, and that's when Iran used to have the polar bear mounts back in the day. Yeah, mounts were expensive.
Okay.
Yeah, mounts were expensive. So Wild Hunter had a built-in mount along with basically mechanic because it had its, tank. But that's kind of why I got it. I was like, oh, my brother played Mercedes, my aunt was playing Iran, other brother was playing Mech. Why don't I play another mountain class too? And that's kind of
Okay.
how I got into Wild Hunter.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that for sure. I originally, like, when I heard about Maplestory way back when I was like in high school,
Yeah.
I thought Wild Hunter was really cool just because you got to ride around on a like a tiger. And
Yeah.
I had just come out of like loving Warcraft 3. And if you guys know what I'm talking about and why that just hits, then like but yeah, it just there were a couple units in Warcraft 3 that I just absolutely loved, and Wild Hunter kind of reminded me of them, and I was like, damn, it'd be cool to be able to like play that as like my main character in an MMO.
I will say that it's at least getting better. I'm gonna be honest. If you played it back in 2011, probably didn't want to play it back then. But nowadays, there's a lot of cool things about the class. There's not a class like this. Like, I know everybody says that about their class, but there genuinely is not classes that play like our class.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think it is a cool class. Okay. Let's move on to talk about the difficulty. So what would you say is the most difficult part about a new player picking up Wild Hunter as, whether it's like a mule or a hyper burned character or a challenge world character, or maybe they want to main it or something, like maybe they're super new?
Well, the first difficulty chat said, and I kind of do agree. A little bit of the difficulty is definitely going to be getting into parties. We are a little bit more known for having lesser damage. Why take a lesser damage class when you can take a class that's stronger and does more?
Okay.
Besides that, though, a little bit of the difficulty is going back to the whole thing I mentioned about being clunky. One of the skills, I guess I'll first cover that I haven't covered yet, is called backstep. This is a server-sided skill. For certain bosses, it's kind of useful. For all the bosses like CRA, you're never going to use this. But what the skill allows us to do is to walk backwards while holding Hurricane.
Oh, okay.
So the boss, you can aggro bosses, and I'll kind of show this off in Kalos because it's just the easiest to show it off in. And I won't Hurricane, so everybody can kind of just watch how this does. And you can basically just...
He's moonwalking.
Yeah, just walk back with him.
Okay. So is that a skill that you just toggle on and off when you want to not turn?
Yes, it is a toggle. It's server-sided though. So if you are playing on very high ping, you can hit the skill and it doesn't go off until later. So I'll jump and like I'm actively pressing it right now to turn, and it's just now letting me turn.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, we don't really use the skill too much. It's more just for solo play, I guess you can kind of consider it a use for. Bosses like Limbo, I do use it in a little bit, but for newer players, there's really no use to using it as of right now.
Okay.
Hopefully they change it into something a little bit cooler, but again, it's no class has the ability to walk backwards.
Yeah.
So
it'd be cool if they made it so that it's just baseline, like it just automatically happens when you're holding down your Hurricane skill. And that way, if you want to turn, you can just release the Hurricane for a second.
I don't really think that would do anything. I think the way the Hurricane works is fine. The way the backstep works is fine. It's very niche usability, honestly. I think the way that they have it is perfectly fine.
Yeah, okay. Just got to get used to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So some of the second issues with I guess, playing the class and the learning curve is our Jaguars itself. A lot of people have in their mind that the damage comes from the user itself. So the boss will be right here, you'll be attacking, you'll be pressing your Jaguar skills, and you're like, oh, why am I doing no damage? Your Jaguar can miss. The Jaguar is its own hitbox itself.
Mm-hmm.
So if your Jaguar is here, the boss is here, unfortunately, you're not hitting.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of goes into the entire issue with the class is the AI of the Jaguars.
Yeah, so it doesn't auto-target anything.
Yeah, you kind of notice they're kind of just going everywhere. This does get pretty like touched on in the 2 to 3 minute patch. All the Jaguars now do spawn inside the boss. They're still slowly working on it. I haven't quite seen how good it is yet from the new KMS patch for 2 minutes. That's something I'll kind of have to look at once it comes out. But as of right now, there's a lot of bosses, even as low as Lucid, where your Jaguars can spawn up here, one spawns here, and one spawns here.
Okay.
And you do have the ability to resummon them just by pressing the skill again. But again, there's chances where it could just spawn up here again.
Yeah.
So making sure you're juggling all of your summons while also still juggling your skills, while also juggling your Jaguars itself, it's a lot for a new player, but once you get used to it, once you learn boss mechanics, it becomes a lot easier. But for that first impression, you're going to be wondering, I know this class doesn't have the most damage, but where is the damage? And it's just because your Jaguars are missing.
Okay. Okay. So, what would you rank the class's difficulty overall in terms of being able to, like, get it to a point where it performs like the average Wild Hunter player can perform?
I would say like either A or B. Like I did mention, like I said, it is a lot, but it's not like Blasters and Condenas where the skill ceiling is incredibly high.
Yeah.
It's a lot, and then once you get it, it clicks, you're good.
Yeah.
So it's not really S rank, but it's not as low as like a C because it is a lot. So I would say probably A is a good point to put it at.
Okay. Damn. And this is for like doing like the average amount of damage on a Wild Hunter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Once you get a little bit higher up, there's a lot more juggling. Depending on if you're playing cooldown hat, if you're playing Kant or not. It gets a little bit harder because you have to start learning to time everything properly within the Kant. But 1 second. Sorry, my dogs were going crazy.
All good.
But yeah, it's a lot of micromanaging. But
Yeah.
once it gets there, it's good.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, let's move on and let's talk about your support skills.
Yes.
The kind of stuff that, used to get you invited to every party, but maybe now it doesn't anymore.
Yes.
What kind of support do you bring to a party? What kind of buffs? What kind of utility? Whatever.
So I will, I guess, address the first thing in the bag. All archers have sharp eyes.
Uh-huh.
W mans for us, we give additional crit rate, additional crit damage. Who doesn't love that? The main sole use for us pre-Wild Hunter pot was Call of the Wild. Call of the Wild. It is a 10% attack and magic attack buff to the entire party.
Okay.
So it's just a really, really strong buff. I think it equated to like 7 FD or something like that total for Wild Hunter in total. Nowadays you basically have to half that because everybody comes in with Wild Hunter potion and then you're only there for the next 15 minutes. So we have some party play buff, not a lot, but we do have some, as long as the fight unfortunately is over 15 minutes.
Okay.
The other party support we have, not a lot of people know about this. I still mention this to people and they try to argue and say we don't or we aren't. We are what's considered an untouchable class. So for bosses like Saren, we have a skill called Wild Lure that is actually a dummy. Our Jaguar itself becomes a dummy, and it allows us to avoid specific attacks coming from bosses. It's primarily extremely useful in P3 of Black Mage. You can place your Jaguar down on the left side of Black Mage, sit on the right side of him, press Wild Lure, and every attack he will kick will go to the left. And you can just stand here and not have to worry about ducking. And that does work in party play. The other aspect of it is the untouchable aspect, which, you know, it's for Saren, if it's in what's it called, Sunset, you can avoid the dashes that she does, and it just avoids touch damage from bosses itself, and it is a full uptime. So we have a little bit more support than what a lot of people think we have.
Okay. Okay, so what would you rank your party support then?
I would say B for just in general play. Once you get a little bit higher up to where you're doing full min clears, probably more like an A. But it's just depending on exactly where you're coming into, what boss you're coming into.
Yeah. Yeah, because you have the buff that can replace the Sarams for the extra 15 minutes of the run or whatever.
Yeah, for the back end, and then just having the niche use for, like I said, XBM, it's very good for. X-Saren, very good for. Hopefully there's more bosses in the future that have a need for more untouchables, and that might bring us back into the light a little bit more for, you know, like pure archer comps with shades, because I mean, they have a Mercedes that has untouchable too, but you might want a Mercedes and a Wild Hunter for double support while being untouchable.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Not bad. Not bad. Let's move on. Let's talk about your Hexa skills. So your masteries in particular, if you want to talk about the origin again and what it does and how it buffs your damage. Yeah. Let's get into it.
All right. So I'll cover, kind of just walk through everything. Let me figure out how to. Okay. So for pre-6 job classes, if you're unfortunately don't have 6 job unlocked yet, our generic attack is Wild Arrow Blast. We do that on Jag, we do that off Jag.
Mm-hmm.
If you right click it, is it not gonna? There we go. If you right click it, you get what's called Wild Arrow Blast, which turns from a hurricane into a more shotgun skill. It's just used for mobbing. That got changed when we unlocked our M1 to the new Wild Arrow Blast, which completely removes that. We no longer have that skill anymore. It just goes to our hurricane.
Okay.
And then it throws out a grenade every 1.5 seconds. So that's not me doing that. That's the Wild Arrow Blast, and this is my grenade right there.
Yeah.
So that's our M1. Our M2 completely reworked a lot of our Jaguar skills, gave them new animations, gave them an increased amount of damage. It also does show right here. So this is what it looks like with M2 unlocked. And when I take off M2, which one is this? I think I could do it like that. So there you go. That's the old layout color. Very blinding, very ugly. Doesn't look the best, but without M2 unlocked, you don't use the skill swipe anymore, and you also don't use dash anymore. You mainly juggle rampage and roar, and the only reason that is because the actual damage from the Jaguar does more damage than the swipe skill.
Okay.
But since M2 got buffed, we went back to using, using all of the skills.
Okay.
So M3 tackles on basically the same things that M2 tackles on. It's more Jaguar damage. It's what's considered our Hexa Summon Jaguar, which is just the damage of the Jaguar itself. So when you're sitting there, the Jaguar will kind of walk around, it'll swipe the boss, it'll attack him, it'll do its own thing. It doesn't attack though while you're using Jaguar skills.
Okay.
And then our M4 was our 2 summons and final attack. Most people kind of just address it as our summons for M4. Let's see. This one right here. Yeah. So our old summons used to look like this. A lot smaller. Not the best looking, but they got the job done.
Yep.
And when we got M4 unlocked, it basically just made the hitboxes bigger, made them a little bit taller, and a lot stronger. Like a lot stronger.
Okay. So you would still, they're a lot stronger now, but you would still, like, they're not like unusable in like without, right?
I think without M4 unlocked, it's like 1 and 2% of our BA in comparison to like 3 and 4%, like respectively. One's 3, one's 4 because there's 2 summons.
Yeah.
So I think it's like over double once you max it.
Okay. You also earlier you said like they're finally 60 seconds. Does the mastery also increase the duration?
No, so what happened when I first started, this skill, Hexa Drill, was a 15-second uptime with a 30-second downtime. It then got addressed to be 30-second. Recently, it got changed to 30-second cooldown, 60-second uptime. And then 2-minute patch, it now becomes 60-second uptime, 0-second cooldown, which fixes some of that clunk, because now instead of, hey guys, make sure the boss stays here. Oh, the boss walks over here. Can't do anything about that now.
Yeah. You
can just continuously resummon it, reposition, move everything around, and you're completely fine.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
One of the better things about the class, though, is kind of, I guess, getting into the Hexa importance of this class. This class scales really good early on. A lot of her unlocks are like 5 FD.
Okay.
So I don't know the numbers post M3, M4, but if we speak, you know, that's still recently new, so I'm still looking at the docs for that. But excluding these, I think it's for about the first 1,000 frags you get, it's about 13 FD.
Okay.
So for playing with what? I think you can get 1,000 frags just from doing dailies in like a month or two now. It's what, 12, 13 FD. If you add in the unlock of these two, which I think are about 3 and like 7% FD on unlock, that's an extra 10. So in 1,000 frags, you get almost 20 FD right away. That's a lot of damage.
Okay, that's not bad. Okay, and so then the origin as well, right? The origin is changing the way that you play as well, kind of.
Yeah. Not really. The origin is just literally just an additional damage like burst for us. The boss being bindable for a little bit longer helps out because our so if you're not using a cooldown hat, you can either use cooldown hat or non-cooldown hat. If you're not using a cooldown hat, the skill's a little over 10 seconds. So once the boss becomes it's finally moving from being bound, the boss could disappear and then you miss the cast of this. Or if you don't cast it, you end up saving the skill for too long where you no longer get the extra cast at the end, because you're only allowed a certain amount per burst. Because not a certain amount per burst, but you only fit a certain amount of upgraded versions of this in your burst. So if the boss isn't bound by origin, the boss goes and disappears for a second, comes back, you start slowly losing the amount of time that you have to cast the maximum amount per burst.
Yeah, okay.
But it being bound is just nice because for the origin bind specifically, because our Primal Fury can no longer be animation canceled anymore. until you're completely out of it. So it's
Yeah.
about a 2 to 3 second cutscene before you can go into your key down. So if you're a little bit late on bursting, you're late to bursting with the group, the seconds kind of add up over time. And Origin kind of just fixes all of that to where you have a nice 20 seconds to, you know, comfortably get everything out and not be worried about, you know, skills missing or timers bleeding through.
Okay. So overall, what would you rank the need for playing this class with 6 job stuff unlocked?
For having it unlocked, probably if you're talking about like not talking about damage in the sense, but play style, I'll say like F. You really honestly do not need Hexa on this class. For damage, of course, it's nice. But to play this class how it's supposed to be played, you don't need Hexa.
Okay. Okay. Well, you said one of the masteries does stop you from pressing. You press a couple skills, right?
Yeah. That's just a damage thing. All it does is you just don't use this skill. That's it. You just don't use swipe. There's nothing else about it. It slightly changes how you play, but not to the sense of where you have completely new skills, you're changing how you burst. It's the same thing. Instead of just pressing roar and then rampage and then just sitting there, you do nothing, you just press it.
Yeah.
Instead of just letting it stay on cooldown.
Yeah. And then if you had to take the damage increase of like very low investment into account as well,
yeah,
then how do you think you would change the ranking there?
If you're talking about for damage, like you want it because of the damage too, then it's definitely a little bit higher up. I mean, we already don't have a lot of damage, as we mentioned a lot. So if you're including that, then I would say maybe like a B. But I would say only a B because you don't need the skills. You just need it for the damage itself. That's it.
Yeah, I like to have the damage like kept in mind for this as well, because some classes just gain, like, even though they're pressing the same buttons in the exact same order, they just gain so much damage, like randomly for having literally like one mastery point. So yeah, I like to keep the damage in mind for this. So we'll go with B. But it does not change the way you play. Well,
no, absolutely not. No.
Okay.
For the most part, it's basically the same. There's a little small micromanaging tweaking, but other than that, you play exactly the same.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about your farming then. So what's farming like without Janice, or like even with like bare minimum like level 1 Janice?
I will show without Janice, because that's kind of how I started playing the game. I actually didn't unlock Janice till I was 282.
Okay.
So I farmed in a lot of these earlier maps without Janice. I just gotta think of the here we go. Okay, I'll think of a map I can show. So this is an 18k map. This is a pretty notorious map for a lot of classes. It's very high active for a lot of classes. A lot of teleporters, very, very wide. Because we have so many summons, we can literally just do this. One summon down here. One summon. Oh, I'm not in my farming setup. One summon there. One summon there. Oh, can't get up here. And just stand here. And occasionally just turn around, look around, but that's it.
Okay.
This is an 18k map. Very, very low effort. I mean, this is no Janice.
Yeah.
And this is basically what you can do with basically most maps. So Captured Alley 2 if you want to go to. Is this the map that I'm thinking of, or is it I mean, you know, same thing. You can just place a summon, and just look left, look right, look left, look right. Probably one of the most relaxed farmings in the game.
Yeah, it's pretty solid. So you still have to, just like for anyone who's looking for like a really lazy farmer, you still have to have your hands on the keyboard like the whole time you're whapping. You can't tab out, but you don't have to jump around like a crazy person, hitting like an insane combination of skills, combos, whatever.
I will say, unfortunately, this class, even though it is a good AFK farmer, it is not a good active farmer. And I will go to a little bit of a higher map to kind of explain this. Let's see. Let me see if I can find a channel real quick to explain this. All right, this map's gonna be too full. So I mentioned earlier, when you're holding down Wild Harrow Blast, you get this nade that comes out every 1.5 seconds. If you're active farming, the actual... Let me see if I can take the node off to show you. There we go. So the actual hurricane itself... Oop, that's the wrong one. The actual hurricane itself is very lackluster. Like, you're not going to really kill anything active farming with this right here.
Yeah.
But the grenade that you get that gets thrown every 1.5 seconds has such huge coverage that it covers so much you can't ignore it.
Okay.
And that's where most of the AFK-ness comes. I'll put it back on to show again. Put it back on, and I can literally just sit in the middle of the map, look one way, look one way, and just clearing, because that nade right there hits all of this. So you do have to find a map that you can AFK in instead of active farming in, which is a little bit different than what a lot of classes have issues with.
Okay. Got it. So you actually have to, like, you have to be into lazy farming. Stand in one spot, replay summons.
You have to be into lazy farming. Yeah, there is no... You know, once you get high enough in spec, your Wild Arrow Blast can one-tick. But if you're talking about for a fresh player that just came in, you're unfortunately not doing that, and you're going to have to find a map that this grenade right here can kill a segment.
And if you had Janus level 1 unlocked, would you do like the same thing and just have Dusk to just clean stuff up?
You know, you just use Dawn. So, you know, Janus 1, you can just, you know, pop a ball here, pop a ball here. Oh, is it not on that key? It's on this one right here. You know, pop a ball here, pop that there. And that's it. So this is a 285 map that with level 1 Janus, I'm full clearing.
Yeah,
just
okay.
level 1. A lot of classes do not have that flexibility. With level 1 Janus, you can get away with full clearing. AFK while doing that too.
What's the like stat requirement for your summons to kill? Is it pretty low? For your summons to one-shot waves? Do you know?
It is a little bit lower than a lot of classes. They do have very high base damage. I never had any issue farming ever, and like I said, I started recently. Masteries do tremendously buff the damage of Drell Salvo and Hunting Unit, but I mean, coming from somebody that started when New Age came out, under sack, under damage, not libbed, never had any issue, period.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so what would you rank your farming then?
I would probably say like double S. This class is extremely...
Sorry, no. I absolutely cannot let you rank this as a double S.
Oh, man.
When Demon Slayer exists, when Mo Shen exists, when Cannon Master exists that press one button every 60 seconds, like, I cannot let you rank this anywhere close to a double S. I'm sorry, I have to put my foot down on that. There's absolutely no way. You literally like there are so dude, there are so many classes. Like I have to stop you guys from like trying to just gaslight everyone into thinking that your class is like the best farmer ever. There are literally so many classes in this game that don't have to touch their keyboard for a minute straight.
Yeah.
I cannot just let you guys fucking go wild and rank this shit like as the best in the game. You know what I mean?
Well,
you're not the first person to do this either.
If you want to include no hands-on playing, we do have that. We do have maps where you can farm without ever pressing anything. We have to switch from haven't done this in so long. We have to switch from dawn to dusk. Here it is. And you have to stay off Jag, because off Jag will continue to proc your summons.
Uh-huh.
And as long as you're strong enough, you should be able to about 40 seconds just continuously sit here. Your Jaguar will hit. You're not going to full 18k clear everything, but you can sit here AFK.
Okay.
And just wait for your skills. It's just not going to give you Demon Slayer 18, 19k rates.
Yeah.
Like, I'm still not pressing anything. I'm still not attacking. My Jaguar is proccing everything. Everything's still proccing. So there is the ability to just hands off and play.
Okay. See, now that I can let you give it an S because of this.
Yeah.
Like literally, if all you have to do, obviously, this probably like has like a higher stat requirement, or like you know, you need to have like Janus unlocked and masteries or whatever. But
yeah, a little bit higher of a Janus because you want the 15 crystals from Janus, and it's only 40 seconds instead of 60. I know you're like, oh, you know, Cannon Masters can do it for 60, Demon Slayers can do it for 15 minutes. It's 40 seconds because you get locked into like the, you know, botting script they have, so you do have to move or attack.
Yeah.
But it's not the new 7 seconds where you have to attack every 7 seconds.
Yeah, that's fine. For like 40 seconds at a time is fine, and then you just have to like move. And then you have to loot every 2 minutes.
So that bumps us up
whatever.
any, then, you know, hey, I'll take it. But I think S, I think you are right. S rank's a little fair because there's, you know, Demon Slayer, there's Cannon Master out there. And, you know.
yeah. I'm only letting one class take the double S from this one. But yeah. Everything else, like I'm okay giving this an S if you can actually AFK for you know, whatever it is, 40 seconds or almost a minute at a time.
Yeah.
And you have a lot of other options for like maps, right? So it's not just that, but like, yeah, because of all the summons and stuff, there's probably so many different map options, which a lot of people have mentioned as well for their what makes their class a good farmer is like if you have a lot of map options, then you can go places on events that like aren't going to be full, or you know, you can go to the maps with higher burning rates or whatever.
Yeah, and that's honestly like the big flexibility about the class. Even when it comes to like the lower rank areas, a lot of people, especially when they're in Cernium, they're like, oh, I have to stay in specific maps. Wild Hunter, any map you want here, you can take it, no problem. Level 1 Janus, level 30 Janus, no Janus, any map you want. We have so many summons. Our Wild Arrow Blast covers so much of the map. Any map you want. Go look at it in Maple Maps, figure out a rotation, and call it a day. If it has burning, no burning, if you want the extra mobs, extra EXP, if you want more chilled, relax, every map is viable for us. Okay.
All right. So the farming is good for a lot of reasons. All right. We'll go with that. Okay. Let's lastly talk about your animations. So if you could maybe real quick just take off your boost nodes so we can see what your skills look like without the masteries.
Without masteries?
Yeah, okay. And then slap them back on after you showcase, you know, one at a time. And then maybe just go through all of your animations real quick.
Wild Arrow Blast still on. Okay, all right. So this is our that's our Hurricane.
Yep.
That's on Jag. You throw a extra grenade every so often. This doesn't do the big AoE, it's just extra damage.
Okay.
That is the dash. That is swipe. That's roar. That's our bind. And then that's Jag Rampage.
Okay.
You have our Drill Salvo. You have Hunting Unit. And I think that's it that I can show. I can't show you Final Attack or the Summon Jag because that doesn't show. And then you said you want them on now.
Yeah, now put them back on.
So this is Wild Arrow Blast on. And that's on Jag. Get the extra grenade.
Mm-hmm.
You have Swipe. A little bit bigger. You have Dash. Roar. Rampage. My bind's not up, so I'll show them the back end. You have Drill Salvo. Hunting unit.
Okay.
And then, of course, you know, the Jaguar itself.
Yep. All right, let's see the origin again. Wakanda forever. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, when you hold down every, every 2 seconds, you get the little slash. Jaguar comes up behind you and just dashes.
What about your Jaguar customization?
Oh, yes. So you are able to... I haven't been in this so long. Where is it? There we go. Jaguar management. Said I can't do that in here? Oh, I can't use while summoning a Jaguar. There you go. Some of the Jaguars actually have stats built in. All that becomes a passive with Jag Storm, so it doesn't really matter which one you have out.
Okay.
But you're able to choose whatever Jaguar you want out, either gray, yellow, red, purple, blue, Crimson, Onyx, that's the one that I use, Snow White, or Jaria.
Okay. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, whichever one you want. I wish we did have a little bit more customization on it, you know, kind of just color them differently or mounts to work differently, you know, a lot of the, you know, same thing that Mech has, a lot of the issues with the cash shop stuff doesn't always blend the nicest with it, but
yeah,
you know, gets the job done.
Okay. Okay. Any other? That's funny when you look like that and you're riding your thing. Any other notable animations you want to show off before you give me a ranking overall of what you think?
I think that's really it for all the animations. I mean, people like the actual sounds. So when the Jaguar itself, I mean, it's not animations, but it's the sound of the crunch when the Jaguar hits somebody.
Mm-hmm.
People like that. I mean, I've never heard it because I've never played with sounds, but you know,
yeah.
if you're blind, hey, we have some pretty cool aesthetics you can listen to. You know, the Jaguar eating.
Yeah. Okay. So what do you think? If you had to rate the animations overall, from your biased opinion, of course.
I would say C, only because it's kind of hard to see your animations while you're hurricaning. Like, you don't get to fully see them in in the whole entirety. You're kind of trapped behind looking at them hurricaning.
Yeah. Okay.
If it was a little bit more like transparent, you know, something you can keep your Jaguar over there, and then you can see it a little bit better. But it really just gets so blended into the back when you're bossing, because your Jags are usually on top of you on the boss. You're not seeing your Jaguar. Like, unfortunately, I wish you were. You can kind of see it here and there, but you can't see it the best.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough.
But it does have I do like the white and blue aesthetic. It's a little bit more, you know, vibrant. It looks nice. It blends in a little well. It's just kind of weird that these two skills are red and then everything else is white. But to each its own, you know, whoever decided to make it like that.
Yeah. Some people like having a lot of different colors, and then like you've got all the explorer classes that are literally just like one color each. Everything just
all
overlaps.
Green,
yeah.
all blue. Yeah, no, there's some nice difference between
At least you've got a little
everything.
variety in here.
Yeah.
All right,
other
brother.
than that, the only other animation is the Primal Fury. I mean, that's always pretty sick. You know, your screen's
Yeah, that
getting
one's pretty
clawed
cool.
and broken.
Like a little mini origin.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, Wild Hunters. I mean, I heard through the grapevine that all the resistance classes are probably up next on the chopping block for like a rework of some kind. So,
Oh.
I'll keep my
we've been
fingers
praying
crossed for
that.
you.
Yeah, we've been praying that for 10 years, and some people would rather just get the jet treatment, let us go play another class.
Oh,
Others
boy.
just want a whole rework. But I will say, the one good thing about it, man, is it's only up from here. We cannot possibly get worse. People are afraid of playing a class. Oh, my class is going to get nerfed. Look at Demon Slayer. Went from top 1 to bottom 45. But hey, Wild Hunter has always been the bottom, and there's no going down. It's only up from here.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, well, I'll ask you. You've kind of answered some of these things, but just to like keep it easy for people to find if they're looking for the answers to this question or these questions, I'll ask: how does the class get affected by the 2-minute patch?
So the 2-minute patch, as I mentioned before, it fixes a little bit more of the clunky issues that we have. All of our summons now, drill, salvo, and hunting unit, now goes on a 0-second cooldown. We can continue to respawn them, position everything perfectly fine. We transition from a double jump into a triple jump off Jag.
Okay.
We now receive, just like every other class, we receive a dash while like a floor dash, not a a pre-positioned dash, but every class gets a dash now. So it's going to be a little bit more useful for us. The other buff we get is to our grenades. This skill currently right now does like 1% of our BA, and it is buffed in the 6th job.
Yep.
That goes from, I think it's, what's the damage on it? It goes from like 1320 to like 63,000. So it gets a tremendous buff. I think it goes from like 1% to maybe like 8 or 9% of our BA. It gets a very, very huge buff.
Okay.
And then, of course, the big quality of life that everybody wants it is the Jaguars itself no longer kind of spawning all around the map. I will untoggle this. I actually didn't address this, but the Jaguar skill itself actually spawns 7 Jags. For bossing, you keep it toggle to spawn 3, but like I said, some of them spawn up there. That will no longer be happening anymore.
Yeah.
They will all be spawning inside the boss. So when that comes to reg players, I know we're kind of talking about beginner players, but in reg, there is chances that Wild Hunter becomes even stronger than it actually is, because, with mathematical terms, you hit damage cap, you're stuck at a certain damage, but we can go from 3 Jaguars to 7, and now that they all follow the boss, you're able to actually get all 7 Jaguars to hit, which ups our damage. But that's only for reg, super late game. Only like one person's going to have to worry about that.
Okay. Okay. Cool. So overall, like up?
Yeah, overall up. I mean, every update, it's either, hey, we get a small, buff increase, or there's absolutely nothing in it. They say, hey, we're fixing the Jaguar AI. We load the patch up, and yeah, nothing was touched. So
yeah. All right. Okay, the other question, you already kind of touched upon it, but I'll ask it again one more time for anyone who's looking for it in the video, perhaps. Is your class ping reliant?
Ping reliant, not really. There's only one skill, as I mentioned, is our backstep skill, but it's such a situational use skill that there's not really much ping reliant on the skill. Just bind, burst, hurricane the boss, and call it a day. Have fun.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Do you think, I mean, I feel like this question answers itself with just the amount of damage that it does, but do you think Wild Hunter would be a good choice for a Challenge World character?
For a Challenger World, coming to the sense of you are a completely fresh player, I would say yeah. Mainly just not so much like the damage itself, it's just the increased survivability you have really allows you to start understanding the game. A lot of people, they get so overwhelmed coming into a game like this, they quit because of the overwhelmness. But being able to just be iframed and really soak up everything you can, it's going to be a good choice for most people.
Okay.
You know, it's not as good
noted.
as survivability as like Bowmaster, but it has survivability that allows people to kind of sit back and learn the game while they're playing.
Okay. All right. Well, I think that's pretty much it. Chad, unless anyone has any final questions for Denut, I'm going to let him go.
Anybody have any questions?
Yeah. Otherwise, I'm going to let him go. That's all of the information we needed about Wild Hunter. How about we buff Wild Hunter? How about that, guys? Next on?
Yes.
How about we let these guys do a little bit more damage? You know, they're putting in a lot of work. There's a lot of effort going in behind this class in order to deal all of this damage, and I feel like they we could no pun intended. I mean, I know it's not a dog, but like we could throw them a bone. You know what I mean? Like, let's just
I'll wait for the bone. I'll wait years and years and years. Hopefully one day.
Let's just let's help them out a little bit. Thoughts? Yeah. Petition to Nexon. Deal, guys. Okay.
Hey, as long as it's a resistant rework and they forget Xenon, DA, and Demon Slayer, I'm happy. Just forget all of them. And Blaster. Only worry about Mech, Bam, and Wild Hunter.
Damn. All right. All right. Well, brother, thank you for taking the time. I know it like was a little bit weird with us trying to like figure out the scheduling to make this work, but yeah, thanks for being flexible and understanding, and appreciate you coming on and giving it your whole heart and soul.
Yeah, I mean, you know, thank you for having me on. You know, like I said, there was other people that you could have spoken about it, but you chose me, so thank you very much, and appreciated the platform to be able to speak on.
Absolutely, absolutely, guys. W Denut in the chat. Let's go. Give this man some claps. Yep, he gave it up for us. Thank you, bro. W's.
Yeah, all right. Thank you. I'll see you guys around. Thank you, everybody.
Yes, thank you, bro. You're the GOAT. We'll talk soon.
All right, later.
Wow. So okay, I'm just gonna be honest. That shit started out rough. I was like, we're getting through like the damage portion of the interview, and I'm thinking to myself, like, is this guy gonna actually just rank everything so low, and I'm gonna have to redo this because I'm not trying to like spread some Wild Hunter propaganda that's already so widespread that makes everyone think that this class is actually just the worst thing in the game. But then we saved it. Yeah, if you're a meta chaser and you're looking for something that's just gonna do the most damage, and you don't care about fun, and you don't care about aesthetics, and you don't care about like, you know, you don't care about the lore behind your character, like give your character its own little story, you know, like if literally all you care about is doing the most damage in the game, then I'm just gonna be honest, it's time to move on to the next video. Okay, I might have just spoiled the next one. But if you watched this video with an open mind and you were already interested in the class, and you're with me thinking that like doing combat while riding a mount is sick, then hey, maybe we just found a new class for you to play. And on top of that, I'm gonna be honest, that has a lot more going on in its like rotation to deal damage, even if the damage is low, than I thought it was gonna have. I literally had no idea like what that was gonna look like at all. So like a class that actually is kind of engaging and has more going on than just hold one button, press a second button, whatever, press skill sequence, you know? This one was kind of cool. Not as complicated as like a combo class, but like there's actually stuff to think about and manage and whatever. You're not just gonna fall asleep playing the game. I really like that. I like that about this game, personally. Anyway, if you made it all the way to the end of the Wild Hunter video, props to you. I hope you learned everything that you wanted to learn about this class that most people don't really talk about, because most people aren't really playing that much these days, because I think of the, you know, I don't want to say stigma, but like the misconceptions the community has just over the class in general, how it was replaced by an in-game potion. And while it's still funny to meme about all that stuff, you know, it's still a class and the players still have feelings, guys. So maybe we just dial it back a little bit on the Wild Hunter hate train. What do you think about that? Deal? Shake on it, everyone. Okay? Anyway, I appreciate you all for being here. Chat, thank you for participating in the community votes. As usual, if you guys are watching on YouTube and you want to come by the stream and participate in community votes, I'm going to be honest, by the time this video is posted, we'll probably be done the rest of the interviews. But I'm going to say it anyway. Come by the channel and hang out for whatever reason. Okay? I'm here playing Maple. I'm not going anywhere. The game's got its claws in me. Like, what can I say? The game's got its claws in me. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to hyperburn. The hyperburn literally just became available today, and I'm not even going to use mine yet. I'm going to wait till we're done every single interview, then I'm going to use mine. Okay, with all that being said, I love you guys. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. YouTube, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace!